I never imagined my life would lead me here, sitting in an empty kitchen at midnight, staring at a cold cup of coffee and trying to make sense of everything. My name is Gabriel. I'm 47, and I was married to Samantha for 18 years. That is, or perhaps I should say, I was married. For nearly 2 decades, we built a life together. Our home, our routines, our kids, our small world of familiarity. At least, I thought it was built on trust. I was wrong. Samantha was always someone people noticed. Outgoing, magnetic, effortlessly funny. She had that spark, the kind of energy that could light up a room, and for a long time, I loved being in the orbit of it. I wasn't the loudest or the most charming person around, but I was steady, dependable, reliable. I had a job in logistics, ran my own small delivery fleet, paid the bills, fixed things around the house, and I tried to show love in all the ways I could. For years, that seemed enough. The first 10 years were solid. Not perfect, but solid. We had nights where we stayed up talking, road trips on weekends, shared laughter over silly things. I remember thinking to myself, this is what marriage is supposed to be. But somewhere around year 11 or 12, the subtle shift started. They weren't loud or dramatic, just small, almost imperceptible, like a slow leak in a pipe you don't notice until your basement floods. It started with the evenings. Samantha came home, said she was tired, and would retreat into scrolling her phone. The laughter faded. The teasing, the flirty glances, the easy touch, they disappeared. I try not to notice at first. She's stressed. Work is demanding, I told myself. I cooked dinners, cleaned, folded laundry, even ran baths some nights so she could relax. I thought perhaps if I kept showing care, the connection would return. But it never did. Then came last Thursday. A normal day, or so I thought. I had spent the afternoon at the warehouse, coordinating deliveries, juggling schedules. Nothing unusual. She came home later than expected, claiming traffic had been worse than normal. I tried to talk, just casually, about dinner, the kids, nothing heavy. But she had that look, a distant, almost imperceptible sharpness around her eyes. She said, "Gabriel, I'm going out tonight. I'll make it up to you later." At first, I laughed lightly, thinking she meant a casual dinner with a friend. Then the words hit me differently. I asked, "Out with who?" She gave me a soft shrug. "Just someone I need to see. Don't worry about it." There it was. The line, drawn silently, yet brutally. A date. After 18 years. No warning, no discussion. Just, "I'm going out, and you will wait." I didn't explode. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. Instead, I felt that cold, unmistakable tightening in my chest, the kind that signals clarity. The feeling that the life I believed in, the connection I thought we had already been silently dismantled piece by piece. The spark I cherished was gone, and I had been blind, loyal, and naive enough to hope it would come back. I thought about the years we shared, the birthdays, the holidays, the arguments we fought and resolved. But looking back now, I realized I had been holding the structure together alone. My efforts, my love, my presence, they had become invisible to her. Every touch, every compliment, every attempt to engage emotionally was met with distance or disinterest. I had been trying to keep alive a connection that had already died without my knowledge. That night, I decided not to confront her. Instead, I went to the bedroom, sat on the edge of the bed, and thought about what I wanted. Not revenge, not a dramatic scene, just clarity. I realized that continuing to wait for her to make it up later was not love. It was self-deception. It was slow erosion of my dignity and sanity, and I wasn't willing to let that continue. I packed a small bag. Nothing extravagant, just essentials. Toothbrush, clothes, my wallet, a few personal items. I didn't leave a note, didn't slam the door. I just stepped out quietly, feeling an unexpected sense of relief mixed with a sharp, bitter sting of betrayal. I drove to my friend Simon's house, where I knew I could sleep without being questioned or interrupted. On the way, I thought about the past 18 years, not in anger, but in realization. I had given everything I had. Loyalty, effort, presence, attention, and it had not been enough. The next morning, I went about mundane tasks, trying to maintain some sense of normalcy. Grocery shopping, running errands, checking on the kids. My phone buzzed constantly with messages from friends who sensed something was wrong. I didn't respond to most. I needed distance. I needed to remind myself who I was outside of a marriage that no longer felt mutual. 3 days later, I received a text from Samantha. "We need to talk. I'll be home later." That's all. No apology, no explanation, no acknowledgement of the line she had crossed. And that's when it hit me fully. She didn't see this as betrayal. She didn't see the fracture she had caused in the foundation of our life together. To her, it was normal, acceptable, even trivial. But to me, it was everything. I realized I had two choices. One, continue to engage in the pretense of a marriage where my love, my loyalty, and my dignity were not recognized. Or two, stand still, accept the truth, and reclaim my life piece by piece. I chose the second, not with bitterness, not with malice, but with quiet, cold clarity. I would not be someone who begged to be valued. I would not continue to give everything while receiving silence in return. Over the following week, I reorganized my life. I adjusted schedules, made arrangements for the children, and set boundaries. I didn't lash out. I didn't post online. I simply realigned my priorities. I was still present where it mattered: work, children, responsibilities. But the illusions, the expectations, and the hopes tied to Samantha had been removed. I finally saw clearly the man I had been all along: reliable, strong, steady, and deserving of recognition, not as an invisible ghost in a home that no longer held love. On the evening of the 8th day, Samantha came home. I was in the living room, quietly sorting through paperwork. She paused at the doorway, eyes slightly wider than usual, and asked, "Gabriel, are you upset?" I looked at her calmly, fully aware of the emotional distance she had created. I simply said, "I'm not upset. I'm aware, and I've accepted it." She blinked, said nothing more, and walked past. I didn't follow. I didn't plead. I didn't try to explain. The space between us was now defined by clarity, not confusion. That night, as I went to bed in a room that had once felt heavy with unspoken tensions, I finally felt something I hadn't in years: peace. Not triumph, not joy, not relief from drama, just a simple, sharp awareness that I had made a choice to preserve my dignity and my sanity. The betrayal cut, yes, but it also revealed a truth I could no longer ignore. Love that is silent, absent, or dismissed is not love. It is obligation. And I would no longer accept that as my reality. 18 years had taught me many lessons, but the final one was the most important. The moment someone stops valuing you, the moment they treat your loyalty as invisible, the moment they choose themselves over the bond you've built, that is the moment to pause, to reflect, and to reclaim yourself. I didn't leave because I wanted revenge or to hurt her. I left because I finally understood that my own life, my own worth, and my own dignity mattered more than maintaining a facade. Sitting here now, the night silent around me, I realized something else. Betrayal doesn't always come with shouting or cheating or dramatic confrontation. Sometimes it comes quietly, with a shrug, with a date, with a sentence that carries more weight than any argument ever could. And sometimes, walking away quietly, with clear eyes and a steady heart, is the only way to truly reclaim yourself.